Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. And if you have never seen my face before, hello, my name is Michaela and I'd love for you to subscribe and become part of our family here on YouTube. So today is the day that y'all have been waiting for. This is What's in My Park Bag, Kids Edition. So I've been getting requests like, do a park bag when you take your niece and nephew. So that's what I'm doing. So, as most of you know, I have a 4-year-old niece and a 2-year-old nephew. I also have a 3-month-old nephew, but he doesn't get to go to the park yet. And honestly, my 2-year-old nephew was supposed to be able to go to the park this year, and April was going to be a day trip with him because we live like 2 hours away from the park. So it was going to be a day trip to Dollywood with him and let him see how he does at Dollywood the first time on a day trip, so we can always go back home in case he doesn't do so well. But we all know how April turned out. Yay. So he's hopefully going to get to go with us starting in May, and I'm hoping they open back up in May. But I'm going to show you what I take in my bag. Keep in mind, I'm not just the only one that takes them. My mom and dad are also there, so they're Nana and Pa. And sometimes my brother and his wife, their parents, actually get to go with us too. See, we have season passes, and 3 and under get in free, so my nephew's free to get into the park. And then my niece has the Imagination Station pre-K pass. So she also gets in. So, but my brother and sister, they don't have season passes, so we end up taking them most of the time, and then they end up using our extra bring a friend pass to come whenever, yeah. So, but this is the bag that I use whenever they come. This is the Dreamcatcher bag from A Cowgirl's Touch, which, if you didn't know, that's my brand on Facebook, so I'll link it down below if you want to go and get one yourself. So, but I really like this bag. I like how it's a drawstring, so if my niece needs to get in it, if it's sat in her stroller and she needs to get in it to get something out, she knows how to open it up, but she has to ask before, so it's not like she just goes in and starts off. But the first thing that's in the bag is normally some type of water bottle. They give out free water, but with a 2-year-old, sometimes he'll drink it, but he wants to turn it up, and so a water bottle is perfect for that. We'll take a sippy cup too and pour the water in from there. Also, the water bottle is great because you can fill up water bottles at the water fountain that they have, and I do know that they change those filters regularly, so it's not like once a season, it's at least once a day, if I'm not mistaken. It might be more than that, which would be great. But yeah, so this is a 16th ounce bottle, I believe, so it's a 2-cup bottle. I mean, and most of the time, if she's drinking all that water, then she's good. She's good. Like, most of the time she'll drink one of these throughout the whole day of water. Most of the time she'll drink even more, and it's scary when she drinks that much more water, because I'm like, Brie, do you really need that much water? She's like, yes, I need that much water. She's very much Miss Independence. I want to do it my way, and she's very much that way. And so you kind of see in her stuff that I have in the bag that it's very much independent oriented. Like with the bottle, it's easy to flip it down and hit the button to open it up for her, so she doesn't have to have help. So to go on with the water, I also have some Hawaiian Punch water mix. Sometimes she or my nephew, or even us adults, are just so done with drinking water that we want something else, but we're not necessarily ready for like a Coke or something, because we're not ready to eat anything yet, and we normally only drink a Coke if we are eating. Yeah, so we'll mix in the Hawaiian Punch, and it's great. It works out really good for us, and she and my nephew both, so my niece and my nephew both really like it. So another thing is granola bars and snacks. I don't have all the snacks in here that I normally would. I would have at least 2 granola bars, some gummies, maybe some crackers, but all we have right now is the granola bars. And Dollywood is always really good about letting you have snacks, as long as they're not open snacks or anything that you could stick in something dangerous in. Yeah. Alright, so I have a bag full of some essentials, and then I have my first aid bag. So basically this has medicine, eye drops, band-aids, some Neosporin, yeah. So just medicine and stuff that we might need throughout the day, because my niece and nephew both don't like to have to ride around all the time. They rather walk a few times, and so sometimes they'll get walking and they'll get ahead of themselves even though we're holding their hands, and they'll just ride on the pavement, and then they'll scrape their knees until they need band-aids and stuff. And most of the time it's not as bad as they're making it sound, but I know it does hurt. So we have the Neosporin and stuff to make it all better. Another thing I have in here is a deodorant for reasons, because like throughout the day, even though you put on deodorant before, sometimes you just start smelling again because you have gone and you've walked and you've done all this stuff. So deodorant, yeah, that's a need. Okay, then I have my wallet. It's just, I use as flat as I can get a wallet, because it just fits better in there in the bag with everything else that I need. So yeah, I like that wallet for that reason. And then I also have some hand lotion. Me and my niece both get our hands start to get really dry whenever we're at Dollywood. I think it's because of the different altitudes. Like, we're really low and then Dollywood's up in the mountains. So I think that's one of the reasons, but I don't know. It also could be where I'm holding on so tight on the rails whenever we ride that my hands just start like chafing, I guess. And they're like, please no, stop. But yeah, so I have some of that in there as well. And then I have a change of clothes and a Ziploc bag for my niece. Most of the time she's really good about saying, hey, I need to go, or something. But there are a lot of little wet places that you can get wet in and play in the water, and sometimes she doesn't wait till we get her changed into her little swimsuit that she can get wet in, and she's just taken off, and then we have to change her into dry clothes. So we have this in there for her, and then it's just in a Ziploc bag, so if her other clothes are wet or she did have an accident, we have a place to put the other wet clothes. And I mean, she's just 4, so accidents are bound to happen, and it's no big deal. You just take her to the bathroom, get her cleaned back up. Yeah. And again, Dollywood staff is like really good with kids that if they get scared on a ride, or it's their first time on a bigger ride and so they're not too sure about it. Remember, there was this cute little boy riding the Dragonfly for the very first time, and it's not that fast, it's really not that high. Like, the biggest issue with the Dragonfly is that you have your feet free, so that's really the biggest issue with that. And so he was scared, so the technician for the ride hollered to the front and said, hey, slow it down this time. And so he was able to relax and stuff. So Dollywood employees are like the best with little kids and making them feel safe and comfortable. And even in like accident situations, they'll be like, oh, it's okay, let's just come this way and you can get her cleaned back up. And they are so good about that, and I cannot sing Dollywood's praises enough for that. Okay, so I have another bag full of my nephew's clothes. So he's still in the midst of trying to potty train, but he's not there yet. So we're in pull-ups now, but he's trying. So I have 2 extra tops and a pair of socks for him as well. Like I said, my mom normally has the bulk of the stuff because she normally has a stroller with him, and he normally has to stay with her more. I'm saying like I've taken him before, but he hasn't gone yet, but this is just because he's so little. She's probably going to be at the county fair with all the kiddie rides a little bit more than anything, and yeah. So I also have 2 pairs of socks for them because as the day turns to night, we switch them into their tennis shoes so their feet don't get cold, and then those tennis shoes stay in the bottom of their stroller, so it's great. So another thing I have is a couple pair of pull-ups. Like I said, he's trying, but I feel like a big park for the first time is going to be like one of those that he doesn't think about trying to go potty at all. So diapers or pull-ups just to be safe, okay? He's not in big boy pants yet, but he's working towards them. But like I said, there's going to be so much for him to see his first trip that he's just not going to be thinking about trying to go potty, and he's just, yeah. So definitely pull-ups. And then, okay, so we like to see shows, so we'll like ride all morning when it's still cool, and so we'll ride pretty much everything at least twice by the time it's 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock hits, around 1 o'clock we're going to eat, and then after that, basically we're watching shows, or we're letting the kids ride or play, or doing something. We're not really in a riding mood anymore after we eat. So in the case that we are watching shows, we have little books that they get to draw in. So I have one for my niece and one for my nephew, and they both have their names on it, and you're probably like, why is it written in cursive? Because my niece likes the fancy writing, and she knows that that's her name in the fancy writing. And I also have it written in print with the fancy writing S, a cursive S. Same with Jackson's. He can't read at all yet. He knows that that's a J, and so he can pick that up. So he knows that that one's his, and if we don't put their names on them, or if we don't have 2 completely different pencils, one is just like a plain and then one sparkly, if we don't have 2 completely different pencils, they'll start fighting over them, and then I'm just like, no, we're not doing this, not today. Ooh, there's a glare from the window. We made it this far, and I actually like to see the sun come through because this morning it was actually raining. So we have both of those for them, and so they get to draw during a show, and they most of the time are complete and good. But there's always that chance that they're just not gonna be on their best behavior, even though we have asked and we have done so much for them to get them to be on their best behavior. So another thing I have in my bag, as you all know, is I like to vlog a lot on my phone whenever we go. So my phone tends to die really quickly because I'm on it, like filming. So I have a charger that I take, and they do have charging stations spread out throughout the park. I know that they have special rooms that you go to if you're nursing a child. You can go in there and you can plug your phone in there while you are nursing. They have outside of Reds and those big Coke bottles. That's a charging station. There's a few others that I can't think of right off the top of my head, but they are charging stations spread out through the whole park. And so if you're just needing a break, you literally sit and charge your phone while you are needing that few minutes to take a break. And so yeah, so I have that in there. So to go back to like the shows and kids, before the shows start, while you're waiting in line, you don't want to get out like all the art stuff that I have, which is not really art stuff, it's more pieces of paper cut into little books that they can draw in. So I have a couple books for them. So my niece really loves Fancy Nancy, and then my nephew really loves Spider-Man. So these are super little short books that he likes to read. So I put 2 in there for him, and most of the time I end up reading them to him. But my niece is getting to the point where she's 4, so she can pick out a lot of words now. So she'll be like on this page and she'll read "Are you to eat?" Like she can't get the big going yet. and like she could read like a full line, but then it's like, okay, where do I go now? So she basically like reads this by herself and looks at the pictures. And so during a show, like right before the show starts, when you're sitting down, or if you're still outside waiting to go into the show, books are actually a pretty good way, especially if you don't want them playing on your phone. I know sometimes if my niece is really, really good, she has a game on my phone that she's really good at. And I'm like, how are you so good at this game? But if she's really good, then that's her reward. She gets to play that game. But at Dollywood, whenever, yes, they have charging stations, but you don't always have access to those charging stations. It's just easier to have books that they can look at and stuff for them to do, especially during the shows. But most of the time, whenever the shows start, they're like so glued to what's happening on the stage, and they're like, whoa, that they don't even think about it. They don't think about being bored. They're just like, what is happening? This is so cool. One time, my niece actually fell asleep during the show, and it was during a Festival of Nations, like one of her first times there, so she was still really little. Like one of her first times there, it was like the Flamenco Kings during the Festival of Nations. They're like tapping and stomping and doing all this stuff on stage, and she's sleeping through it all, and I'm like, how? But so a lot of times, like, the little ones will go to sleep during a show, or they'll be so intrigued with what's happening on the stage that they'll just stare at the stage, and yeah. So I also have a pair of sunglasses in my bag. So I'm notorious for forgetting sunglasses, so if I always have a pair in my bag before we leave the house, then I know, like, the night before I'll pack it and make sure that I have these in here, because most of the time I'll leave before the sun's up. Then I don't think about sunglasses because the sun's not up. So I always make sure to put sunglasses in my bag the night before. So we also have, keeping in theme for the sunglasses, also have a pair of kid sunglasses. So both my niece and nephew can wear these. Most of the time my nephew ends up wearing them because he's not as good at keeping up with his Spider-Man sunglasses that he actually wears, as well as my niece is great at keeping up with her stuff. So I have an extra pair just in case, like, something his got put back up and it's in the bottom of the stroller. My bag normally stays with me on my back, so I always have an extra pair just in case of an emergency. Alright, so we're getting close to the end. So as you can see, like, there's just a few more things in the bottom here. So I have a pack of gum. And surprisingly, my 4-year-old niece would rather have this Polar Ice gum than fruity gum. This is literally because sometimes when you're standing in line, your mouth just starts getting dry, and gum is great for that, and also bad breath. So that's why I have gum. I have a thing of chapstick. Again, same with the hands. My lips always get really chapped while we're at the park and in Pigeon Forge. Again, probably the altitude. But this one is, I got this out of a subscription box. I really don't know how to say it, but I really love it because it has peppermint in it, and yeah, just love it for that reason. Alright, and then I have a thing of Germ-X. Whoa! A thing of Germ-X in my bag, just to keep in case, like, we need Germ-X. And most of the time I put Germ-X on after I get off of a ride, just because I just do. I've always done that, like, before anything started, but now I'm definitely going to keep doing that, and I'm going to make the people around me do that too. I'm not even joking. So I have hair ties in my bag. Most of the time I have more than just this one. It's just alone and floating in there right now. But normally I have more than that in a little Ziploc. And also most of the time I have little ones for my niece as well. So yeah. And then last but not least, I have a perfume spray. Now, this goes back to the deodorant. Sometimes you don't really need to freshen up the deodorant, but you might need some more perfume. So yeah, perfume. So that is everything that is in my bag for kids. I have a bunch of really cool stuff. So, but if y'all want to see what my mom keeps in her bag whenever we go to Dollywood, give this video a thumbs up and I will get her to make a video showing what's in her bag, and it'll be great. So make sure you thumbs this video up, and definitely check out A Cowgirl's Touch if you're interested in a bag like this. Also, don't forget to comment down below what your favorite thing was from the bag, what you would definitely have for your kids. And until next time, bye.